Hey friends, Kevin Macon's here, and I'm so excited to finally get to do the full reveal for my first book, which is going to be coming out in a couple of months. If you've been following any of my social media stuff, you've probably seen me talk about this, but I wanted to share some of the context behind the book and then finally reveal like the cover and the release date and the name of the thing. So, a little bit of history. About 10 years ago, some friends and I started a church, and we found very quickly that we were pulling in a lot of people from like the edge of faith. So there were some people who had been raised in the church and were maybe a little like disenfranchised and on their way out, but they ended up connecting with our community and kind of finding their own new expressions of faith in that context. So they were like on the edge of the inside of faith. And then we had a lot of people who were on the outside of church world. They weren't like raised in the church or raised around religion or anything like that. And they also were curious about church and faith and community. And so they were kind of the edge of the church on the outside. And as these groups came together, we learned a lot in like quick succession. And in the first couple of years, I just found myself taking notes all the time because we'd throw events and they would flop and I'd like write it down. And we'd have some amazing disaster and I'd write it down. And something would go well and I'd write it down. And over just the first couple of years, we had all of these insights into what it meant to be in community, to be followers of Jesus together, to be the church. And I had gathered all these stories and all these reflections, but didn't yet know what they were together. And so because I didn't know what to do with all those stories, I started making YouTube videos and made videos about like prayer and doubt and communal living and all these different themes. But there was one video I made that definitely caught the most interest and had by far the most views, and that was a video called "The Real Reason Millennials Don't Go to Church," which, truth be told, isn't a great video. It's great clickbait. It's a really good name. The content was okay. But what struck me was the huge response it got, because people hated that video and other people loved the video, and people were like, this is all wrong, and people were like, this is all right, and other people were like, here's the real truth behind the coming Messiah, because when you make religious videos on YouTube, people go crazy. But it was just like, it sparked so much conversation. And that got me thinking that maybe the thing that this book was actually going to be getting at, and what we had learned as a community, wasn't all this stuff that's peripheral to our faith, like what we believe or what we think about this topic or this topic. But maybe the thing that these stories have in common that's most urgent right now is the source and the context itself, church. And the thing that surprised me most over the last decade is not only have we been discovering that church still matters, we've actually been learning that it may be more relevant than ever before. And the title of the book is "Why Would Anyone Go to Church?" That's kind of fun, actually. That worked pretty well. The subtitle to the book is "A Young Community's Quest to Reclaim Church for Good," and the cover to the book is... the release date is June 16th, 2020, 5 months exactly from this video's release. So if you want to support me as we walk towards that date, few things you can do. First off, you can pre-order the book at Amazon or any non-corporate version that you feel better about. I'll put links in the description below, but pre-orders are huge for the publisher and for different sites and book orderers to know that there's some interest. And as you can tell from the views on most of my videos, I have a small but passionate group of people who are supporting these things. It's also cheap. It's like 20 bucks Canadian, which I think works out to like $7 American. The other thing is that we're going to be doing a tour going across Canada and then hopefully to some stops in the US and the UK. And I'll be going like with my wife and some friends at different legs. And we are hoping to find host churches in every city that would want to gather us and some people from their city or their community together. And then I'll do kind of half the night talking, storytelling, kind of like the Holy Shift tour video if you've seen that before. That'll be half the night, and then the other half of the night will be us interviewing people from these different places, church leaders, key people involved in these communities, about their stories and times that they failed and embarrassing stuff and all of that. So if you are a community that would like to host one stop of this tour, we'll be doing the Canadian leg in June, July, and August. And just hit me up on social media or whatever. All the info's in the description, and we would love to connect with you. That's all I've got for this video. Thank you for sticking with this book reveal. I'm really proud of this thing, and I think it's really important. And it just means so much that you guys have been engaging with this whole process, and that you're going to be the people that help me midwife birth this book into the world and into the church, and hopefully do some reclaiming of church for good. Thanks so much for watching. Grace and peace. Talk soon.